The concept of parkour being an event in the Algolympics has been questioned, and the design for the course changed several times. But with the popularity of our final qualification event, the Algolympics Organization Committee decided that this was the best way to include a team-oriented version of parkour. This is Professor CC19, and welcome to Event 6 of the 2019 Summer Marble Algolympics, the team race. And even though the original design of parkour is not going to be featured in the Algolympics, this is an excellent design of a parkour-style race, with a lot of obstacles, a lot of bowls, and a lot of places where the teams can challenge each other. Now, when it comes to the format, this is going to be almost exactly the same as it was in the qualifiers. The only difference is there are 16 marbles instead of 20. So the first across the line receives 16 points, second receives 15, all the way down to the last across the line, which receives 1. As always in the team race, it is about the overall team total. The two highest overall totals out of the 4 teams in the group will advance through to the semifinals. Here we have our first group, which is Team Neon, Jack's Jokers, Orators, and the Grayscales. Beginning in 3, 2, 1, go. Now, Team Neon is the only team in this matchup that is in the top half of the overall standings. Currently sitting in 3rd place with 1 gold, coming from the first event. Orators have 2 bronze, currently sitting in 9th. So far, Jack's Jokers and Grayscales have no medals. And an interesting occurrence here is the fact that Grayscales have not competed on this course in a video. So they have not had the high-stakes competition as some of the other teams had in the qualifiers, because Grayscales were one of the pre-qualified teams. Winning in the preseason tournament meant that they did not have to go through the main qualification. Now here, though, even though they have not had experience in the high-pressure situation, it doesn't seem to be bothering them one bit. Right now they have all 4 over already. Some of the other teams, such as Orators and Team Neon, yet to get their 3rd across. In the case of the Orators, they are yet to get their 2nd. Now all of a sudden, all 3 of them joining forces. Now Jack's Jokers have all 4 across. That last member of the Orators a little bit slower. But now all team members are past that first obstacle. Now, like I said before, it's about team totals. 1 big points haul up front does not mean anything if all your other marbles are in back. And at this case, at this point, it seems like that might be a problem for the Orators. Right now, they have the lead marble, but everybody else is way farther back behind. We see those other 3 just finally getting across now. A team that is looking in pretty good shape, though, is Jack's Jokers. They have 3, along with their 4th coming across. But this is a surprisingly close matchup. From only 1 team in the top half, other 3 in the bottom half. It seems like it could be anybody's game at this point going into the final stretch. You have Grayscales trying to get their first across. Orators being pushed through by one of Team Neon. Team Neon actually might have hurt them just now. That pushed them farther back up the bowl, and now they are suffering a lot of collisions from a whole bunch of other teams. Jack's Jokers and the Grayscales trying to get as many as possible through right now. And look at this, Grayscales with some clever tactics. They're pushing Team Neon even further back up the ramp. Right now, Orators have the first across, then 1 of the Grayscales. Looks like 2 of Jack's Jokers. Here comes another member of the Grayscales. It looks like right now, Jack's Jokers and Grayscales might be in the best positions. Orators have the lead marble, but the others are back behind. And what was a great start for Team Neon has completely fallen apart. They have become victim to the collisions in those bowls. Like I said, this is a course where teams can challenge each other. And it seems like that is exactly what all the other teams did. They really put the pressure on Team Neon, and they folded. I'm going to turn back behind to see if there's anybody still running the course, and the answer is no. So Team Neon went from becoming one of the front runners here to having 3 of their team members finishing in the back. last, second to last, and third to last. That's going to net them only 6 points. This other team member is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that gives Team Neon a measly 16. So that means that Orators, just by having the lead marble, have already tied. We'll see here, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. It gives them 27, which is pretty good. These other two, that is 4 and 5 for 9. So that gives them 36. Orators have 36. We'll see if that's enough. Grayscales, they have 15. This one is 12. That's 27. That's also pretty good. 11, 10, 9. That takes them up to 36. This one gives them 6. So Grayscales are at 42. And Jack's Jokers with these two gives them 14 and 13, which is also 27. And these two give them 8 and 7. Jack's Jokers and Grayscales are going to be the two teams moving on. Orators with a 36 is not going to be enough, and Team Neon also are both out. We have our first two teams moving on. They are Jack's Jokers and Grayscales. Let's move on to Group B, Azure Royals, Mystic Twisters, Yellowfellas, and the Icers. All right, our second group of 4 is in the starting gates. Our first rookie team running this course, it is Mystic Twisters in the second matchup of round 1. The Mystic Twisters were off to a great start in their qualifying run for this event. However, it kind of fell apart towards the end, very similar to what happened to Team Neon, just not to that extreme. By the way, for the record, there was actually a tie for the win in Group A, Jack's Jokers and Grayscales, both scoring 42 points, both advancing, but both technically tying for the win. Now here in Group B, Mystic Twisters and Yellowfellas and Icers are all bottom half teams, as opposed to Azure Royals, who are your championship leaders in the games at this point. So really, Azure Royals are expected to advance. They are the clear favorites here. Anybody else is kind of an upset. If anybody to be the biggest upset, it would be the Icers. And the smallest upset technically would be the Mystic Twisters, who are the highest ranked of the bottom half teams running here. It's actually been quite surprising what's happened to the Mystic Twisters in the past couple events. Mid-pack performances, nothing really bad, 10th and 9th, but with a lot of good performances from some other teams, it has pushed them way down in the overall standings. Now I'm going to take a peek up front here. We have 3 of the Azure Royals, that 4th one just a little bit farther back, as expected. 2 of the Icers. Looks like Mystic Twisters actually might be struggling a little bit here. And another team that's struggling is Yellowfellas. Now, Yellowfellas have a quite large comeback story from the qualifiers, being in a very desperate position. Why can't I say that? Desperate position going into the final qualification event, only to win it and go to the showdown, knocking out Aquamarines, and then winning in the showdown to advance to the main games. Yellowfellas have ridden on the edge for quite some time in the past several events. No medals to their name, only 1 top half performance. They're sitting in 14th place with only 27 points, compared to the 63 of the Azure Royals. Yellowfellas, along with Icers, both need to pick up the pace if they want to have any success in these games. Now, speaking of the Azure Royals, look how successful they are. They do not have the top marble. Interestingly enough, that is going to Mystic Twisters with one of their cream-colored, light yellow-colored marbles. And then we also have Icers with 2 of theirs towards the front of the pack. So at this point, I believe it's probably going to be Icers and Azure Royals advancing. Yellowfellas have none across so far. Their 3rd one has entered the frame, along with Mystic Twister's 2nd. But this is going to be a very clear victory for the Azure Royals. Icers, I do believe, are going to advance 2nd. I don't think this one is going to be very close, really. I think Icers have done enough. Even though they have won way back here, so do some of the other teams. I'm going to start adding up the points now as we wait for some of the others to filter on through. Azure Royals, they have 14, 13, 12, and 10. That gives them a impressive score of 49 points. Now, I can't be too sure about the Icers. I have to double check. They have 15, and this one is going to give them 11, so that's 26. Let's see here. This is 10, 9, 8, and 7 for the yellow fellas. 6, 5, so that's 31. And depending on what the last marble does, that is going to be either 32 or 33 for the Icers. At this point, it appears to be a 32. So I'm going to take it at face value of 32 for the Icers and take a look at some of the other teams. Yellow fellas, 9, 8, and 7. That is going to give them a 24 plus a 2, which appears to be, yes, going to be a 2. That's going to give them not enough. That is only going to give them a 27. While Mystic Twisters, their top marble giving them 16, plus these giving them 3, 4, and 6. That's not going to work either. So, looks like Azure Royals and Icers are going to advance to the next round. Mystic Twisters and Yellowfellas are going to be out. Now we're going to move to Group C.
And now, our next group of 4 in the starting gates for Group C. Fireballs, Ultraviolets, Gold Globes, and the Crimson Crusaders. Crimson Crusaders trying to regain some traction after finishing in last place with leader in event number 5, falling from 2nd down to 7th in the overall standings. While Gold Globes trying to continue their momentum, they finished in 2nd place in our last event, which pushed them all the way back up to 4th in the overall standings. Currently they're tied with Team Neon. Last event's silver was Gold Globe's 2nd silver medal already in these games. Alright, we're at this first obstacle. It looks like Ultraviolets are the first to get a team member over, but then Fireballs swarm them with 3 getting over. Crimson Crusaders have 2, struggling with that last one. But all of a sudden, Ultraviolets respond to Fireballs and get all 4. Ultraviolets looking in very good shape so far. They have all 4 marbles over that first obstacle. In the meantime, a team that is not looking good at all is Gold Globes. They only have 1 successfully over. Fireballs have 1 back behind. Crimson Crusaders have 2. Looks like 1 of the Crimson Crusaders and 1 of the Gold Globes have made it through. But at this point, Ultraviolets and Fireballs are looking like the teams that are going to be in really good shape going into the second half of this course. I mean, a lot can happen with teams switching position, but if you have all 4 of your marbles in the top half, it's almost a guaranteed advancement for your team. We saw that in our last matchup with Azure Royals, scoring 49 points, which is incredible. That's one of the highest scores we have seen in this course, even when there were 20 points up for grabs. I do believe the highest score we have seen at all was 59 by the Icers in Group C, and that was when there was still 20 points up for grabs for the lead marble. So that just shows you how impressive 49 really is. Only 16 for the winner in this race, and they were still within 10 points of the previous record. Alright, here we go. Some teams streaming down here. Ultraviolets getting bunched up, pushing Gold Globes a little bit farther back. But I don't think it's really going to matter. Ultraviolets, they are doing very well, very consistent, and close-knit as a team. Getting passed up by 1 of the Fireballs right at the end there. But I do think this is going to be an easy advancement for Fireballs and Ultraviolets. Alright, going to zoom back out. We have 1 of the Gold Globes coming through. Here's 2 more, then Crimson Crusaders. Another member of the Fireballs further back, and the last member of Crimson Crusaders not doing very well. I think Gold Globes is probably in the worst shape of any of these teams. But I'm going to start adding points up because it looks like all 4 of the Ultraviolets have already finished. This is 14, 11, and 10. So that gives them 35, which is pretty impressive. 9, 8, and 7. So 7 and 35 gives Ultraviolets a score of 42. Let's see Fireballs. They have 16. This one is 12, so that gives them 28. This one is 8, so that's 36. And the last member appears to be 1, so that last fireball is finishing in last. So that gives them 39. Actually, pardon me there, 37. 37 for the fireballs. So 42 for the ultraviolets, 37 for the fireballs. I'm going to look to see here if Crimson Crusaders has challenged that. 15 and 13, that's pretty good. That's 28. But farther back behind, 2 and 5, that's only 7. So Crimson Crusaders with 35 are going to come up just short. In the meantime, Gold Globes, this lead marble is only 9. 3 and 4 is 7, so that's 16, and this one makes them a 22. So Gold Globe's going to come in last, but it's going to be Ultraviolets winning, Fireballs in second, and we can move on to our final grouping, Team Transparent, Mintergreens, Black Knights, and Strawberry Streamers, to find out the final 2 teams advancing through to the semifinals. And now for Group D, our final 4 teams in the starting gates, ready to get started to find out who will claim those last 2 spots advancing through to the semifinals. Whoever does will be guaranteed at least 8 points, and I can tell you a team that is really, really looking for those guaranteed points is Mintergreens, running in this final matchup in the first round, currently sitting in last place in the overall standings. With only 12 points, that's 11 points adrift of the team that is in second to last, which is Icers. Icers, by the way, have also advanced out of Group B. And it looks like Mintergreens actually doing pretty well here. They have 2, 3, now all 4 over. Mintergreens looking in good shape here for the first time in these games. We still have 5 that are back behind. 2 of the Black Knights. Now it looks like one of them has made it on through. The team captain, T-Red of Team Transparent, is so far the only marble of Team Transparent which is unsuccessful in making it past. 2 of the Strawberry Streamers, one of which has now made it on through, along with T-Red. Alright, turning my attention back up towards the front, because we have a swarm of Team Transparent and Mintergreens up in front. One of the Strawberry Streamers currently in the lead, but the other members of the team are pretty far back there. Black Knights is going to be a little bit, sketchy for them, because they have 2 towards the front, 2 further back that are trying their hardest to make their way up through all the chaos here. So if Black Knights want to advance out of this, they are going to need luck on their side. While T-Green of Team Transparent, well done to them, or well done to him. They are claiming the top spot, but look who's right behind them, a swarm of other marbles. Mintergreens had 2 in a row, but then they got broken up by Strawberry Streamers. We see T-Blue following T-Green a couple marbles back, then T-Yellow running behind another member of the Black Knights. Then the final member, actually no, that's not the final member, that is the 3rd member of Mintergreens. Now look at this, look at the ground that T-Red has made up. Now T-Red is the last marble of Team Transparent that needs to cross the finish line. And with T-Green having the top spot, T-Red making up those spots, I think is going to guarantee Team Transparent the win here. But what's going to be most impressive is the team that's most likely to earn second in this at this point. It's probably going to be Mintergreens, which would advance them through to the next round. Black Knights and Strawberry Streamers having a little bit of a problem towards the end of the course. Black Knights not able to make up those spots, in fact, falling all the way back to the bottom 2, I believe. We're going to look further back up the course. There is nobody still running, so that is only 3 points for those back 2 of the Black Knights. Alright, let's add up some points. 16 for T-Green, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11 for T-Blue, that bumps them up to 27, 9 for T-Yellow, that gets them up to 36, and T-Red is going to earn 6, so that's also a 42. We're seeing that score come up a lot. This is the 4th time. So that's usually good enough to advance. Team Transparent with a 42. Will it be a win? Or will it be Mintergreens? Mintergreens at 15 and 12. That's 27 also. 11, 10, 9, 8. That gets them up to 35. And this one is 5. So Mintergreens have 40. It looks like it's going to be good enough to advance. Black Knights, their lead marble has 13. This is 10. That's 23. And 3 gives them 26. Not very good at all. For a team currently sitting in second place, that is definitely going to hurt them. 2 events in a row where they finished in the bottom half. Strawberry Streamers, they have 14 for this one. 3 and 4 gives them 21, but this one is only going to net them 7. So that's 28, enough to finish in third in this group, but a big boost to Mintergreen's confidence. They're moving through to the next round, along with Team Transparent, who won in Group D. Alright, now it's time to take our top 8 teams, split them into 2 groups, and move to semifinal Match A. Alright, our first group of semifinal teams is in the starting gates, ready for Match A. Ultraviolets, Grayscales, Icers, and the Mintergreens, all of which have run this course once already and have scored well. But now comes the question of who is consistent enough to advance through to the final. They have to score well 2 times in a row. The top 2 teams in this matchup and the top 2 teams in semifinal B will advance through to the final and will be guaranteed at least 12 points in the overall standings. For a team like Mintergreens, who through the first 5 events only has 12 points, that would be absolutely huge. Also, for teams like Icers and Grayscales, who have no medals up to this point in these games, it would also be big to advance through to the final, more so for the pride than the points. It looks like a lot of these teams are very quick in advancing through that first obstacle. Ultraviolets and Grayscales already have all 4 of their team members. Icers have 3, about to get their 4th. Mintergreens have 1 that's still stuck. All these teams have done well once, just like I said, so they're exercising their skills from round 1 to make it through that first obstacle very quickly. Alright, making their way through this first set of bowls. Looks like the Grayscales have all 4 of the top competitors. However, you have to be careful at this point. A lot of other marbles rushing in can push you aside. Looks like Grayscales keeping the top 2, but now Ultraviolets, they are getting their 3rd across. Icers, they also have their 2nd. Mintergreens up to this point only have 1. And like I said, getting caught up, Grayscales, their 3rd and 4th marbles, who were up towards the very front, got pushed back by all the other teams. Mathematically speaking, I think they're right now running in the back half. Looks like Icers are going to be the first to reach this bottom section. Now, Icers were the lowest scoring team to advance through to the semifinals. Part of that was because Azure Royals took up so many points in Group B in round 1. But it looks like Icers, at this point, are going to be in pretty good shape to advance through to the final. They have the lead marble. Ultraviolets have 3 of the top marbles, now getting their 4th. And after all that good luck early on for the Grayscales, they have lost out big time. Mintergreens also really struggling here. I think the results of Group A are going to be quite clear. Icers, Ultraviolets, I think Grayscales in 3rd, then Mintergreens in last. Mintergreens still have 3 running the course. Grayscales had the top 2, the top 4 at one point, but the second half of the course was brutal for the Grayscales. I think they're going to finish in 3rd, but they are definitely not going to advance. Because look at this, 16 for the lead marble of the Icers, 15 for the Ultraviolets. It looks like Ultraviolets got every other one, so I'm going to add them up first. 15, 13, 11, and 9. 15 and 13 is 28, 11 and 9 is 20. So that is 48 points. That's only 1 point short of the Azure Royals record-setting run earlier with 49. And Icers also very good, 16. This one is 12, 10, and I have to check back to see if there's anyone still running. Yes, Mintergreen's still running the course. So 16, 12, and 10, that is good enough for 38. And it looks like this one is going to be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 for the Icers. So that's still pretty impressive. A 43, meaning that Icers are going to advance in 2nd. Now, if I look further back, it looks like Grayscales, they don't have any big scorers. But 8, 7, 6, and 4 is going to give them Let me see here. 8 and 7 is 15, 6 is 21, and 4 is 25 for the Grayscales. While Mintergreens, they have one big scorer up front with a 14, but the other three only give them 6. So, Ultraviolets get the win with 48, Icers 43, Grayscales 25, and Mintergreens with 20 are going to come up short based on how the teams in semifinal B perform. That is probably going to mean that Mintergreens, even though they were able to advance, are going to be getting 8th place, just barely in the top half. Now we're going to turn our attention to semifinal B. Azure Royals, Fireballs, Jacks Jokers, and Team Transparent. Alright, our second lineup of teams in the semifinals is in the starting gates, ready to find out who will join Ultraviolets and Icers in this event number 6 final. I can tell you that Azure Royals are the definite favorites, after scoring the format record for this event with 49 points in round 1. They're looking to ride that momentum through the semifinals and through the final, where they would definitely be a threat to a lot of the other teams trying to win gold. Looks like Team Transparent and Team Blue are the first marble to get over, then 2 of Jack's Jokers, now the third member of Jack's Jokers, 2, now 3 of the Azure Royals. Looks like T-Red of Team Transparent also. At this point, Team Transparent and Fireballs are in the worst position with 2 still above that first obstacle. Looks like T-Yellow making it through. Jack's Jokers now with all 4 across. Fireballs, they are trying to get their 4th. They all of a sudden now have it. Azure Royals now getting their 4th. T-Green of Team Transparent is the only marble still stuck up there. That would mean that at this point they look like they're going to finish in last place. But like I said, it's all about team consistency. We'll have to see what T-Red, Yellow, and Blue can do. At this point, the highest running of Team Transparent is T-Red. T-Blue 2 spots behind that. But the team that's looking in best shape is Jack's Jokers, with a score of 42 in round 1. In semifinal A, that would not have been enough to advance, and that's somewhat surprising, just showing how good the teams are in the semifinals. Azure Royals, they have 2 up front. All these team members colliding. They have a big bunch here. And we'll see who can maneuver their way through these bowls first. Looks like T-Red, the team captain of Team Transparent, doing a pretty good job, and forcing his teammate, T-Blue, through first. Jack's Jokers passing. Oh no, look at this! Azure Royals getting caught up. That allows several of Team Transparent and Jack's Jokers, mainly Jack's Jokers, to pass. Looks like Azure Royals strung together some somewhat good results out of that. But it looks like the top 4 are Team Transparent with some excellent teamwork, and Jack's Jokers. Azure Royals, who were the favorites, they have 2 up there, but those are in 5th and 6th. Alright, here comes some more team members. Fireballs. They have 2 farther back. Here comes T-Yellow, trying to get as many points as possible for Team Transparent, knowing that T-Green is probably going to finish in last. But at this point, I think Jack's Jokers and Team Transparent are both going to advance. Fireballs, they are not looking in good shape at all. Looks like their lead marble got 7th, which I think is only good enough for 10 points. There's the last marble for Azure Royals and T-Green. Shockingly, T-Green, who was the top marble for Team Transparent in round 1, going to be the worst marble for Team Transparent in the semifinals. But I don't think it's going to matter. T-Blue gets 16, T-Red gets 13, that's 29. T-Green gets 1, that's 30. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for T-Yellow, that's 37. Jack's Jokers at 15 and 14 also for 29. But look at Jack's Jokers' other marbles. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's 13 and 29 for a 42. Jack's Jokers' repeat performance. 42 in round 1, 42 in round 2. At this point, it's going to be good enough. So if Azure Royals scored less than 37 for Team Transparent, then the favorites are going to be out in the semifinals. Azure Royals, 11 Well, actually, no, pardon me, they're 12 and 11. That's 23. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's only 31. Azure Royals are out, and Fireballs. This lead marble is only 10, 8. This is 3 and 5, so that gives them 26, which means they're just going to be able to pass Grayscales for 6th. Minter Greens are going to get 8th. In the meantime, one of the better scoring teams who did not advance, Azure Royals, they're not going to advance through to the final, but they are going to be earning 11 points in 5th place, which means they're probably going to keep their lead. But now it's time to turn our attention through to the final. It all comes down to this: the Team Race Final. Ultraviolets, Jack's Jokers, Icers, and Team Transparent. Whoever wins this matchup will have 1 gold. Each of these teams has their own personality when it comes to this event. Ultraviolets are definitely the dominant ones, nearly breaking Azure Royals' record in the semifinals and winning both of their matchups in round 1 and in round 2. Jack's Jokers have been very consistent, scoring the exact same total in both rounds. Team Transparent have been the masters of teamwork, working well with one another to advance through to this point. And Icers have been the wild cards the whole time. Being the runners-up in round 1, the runners-up in the semifinals, they are yet to outrightly win a matchup. But if they can save their best for last, it would be a huge benefit for them right here. They need to put their game face on right now to earn their very first gold medal as a team. Really, any medal they earn here will be their very first in this year and will help them in the overall standings. Coming into this event, Icers were sitting in 15th with only 23 points. Looking back behind, it looks like T Green is having the same problem with Team Transparent as he did in the semifinals. Doesn't look like he will be able to redeem himself at all. But the interesting thing is how many Team Marbles are running up front here. Icers has the lead marble, but there's a huge swarm of all the other teams bunched up together, meaning that this is going to be one of our closest matchups. Looks like Ultraviolets have 1 running behind, and, of course, T Green of Team Transparent. Now I'm going to turn my attention back up front. For Team Transparent, T Red is running up front, along with 3 of the Icers. And here's the 4th. Jack's Jokers have 2. Here comes T Blue, and here come the other 2 of Jack's Jokers. At this point, I think it's going to either be Icers or Jack's Jokers based on who can get the best score. Jack's Jokers first into this final bowl, but will they be able to hang on? No, it's going to be Team Transparent with T Red. Now Ultraviolets cutting in front of these other teams. Icers getting 1. Now Azure Royal, they are Jack's Jokers, and now the other 3 for the Icers. Icers very consistent, but they're not going to get very many big scoring marbles. This is going to be very close. I don't think Ultraviolets is going to have enough, but I don't think Team Transparent is going to have enough. I think this is going to come down to team consistency. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that team consistency is slightly more important than getting big scores for those lead marbles. In the case here, Ultraviolets have 2 big scorers, but we're still waiting on some farther back behind. There's 1, and then there's T Green. Those are the last 2 running the course. T Green is going to get only 1 point. Not good for Team Transparent. That might actually put them off the podium. We'll see here. Team Transparent, I'm going to go to first. 16 for the lead marble. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9 puts them up to 25. 3 and 1 pushes them up to 29. Ultraviolets, 15 and 14 gives them 29. Plus this one is 2, and this one is 5. That means Ultraviolets have the lead with 36. Icers, 12, 11, and 10, plus a 6 gives them 39. Let me make sure. 23, 33, 39. So now Icers have the lead. It's coming down to Jack's Jokers. 13 for the lead marble. 3 for this one. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 15, 13, That is 31 points. Icers have claimed their very first gold. It came down to team consistency. They were the runners-up in rounds 1 and 2, but like I said before, they saved the best for last. Icers are your winners in the team race. Now, I have to just double-check this here. I think Ultraviolet's did enough for silver, 29, 2, and 5, that's 36, as opposed to Jack's Joker's 31. So yes, Jack's Jokers are going to claim their very first medal. It is going to be a bronze, the first medal in these games. And Team Transparent are just going to miss the podium. Let's turn our attention to the standings for this event, and we'll get to the overall standings. See how this event has shaken things up, mainly for the Icers. Alright, here are the results of the team race. Icers earning their very first gold medal. Congratulations to them. And it's also their very first medal earned in a team event. So it seems like their teamwork is getting stronger. In the meantime, Ultraviolets earning a silver. They're going to add that to the gold they have so far from event number 2. And that's definitely going to gain them a few spots in the overall standings. Same thing for Jack's Jokers, finishing with their first medal this year. It is a bronze. Team Transparent just missing the podium. Of the teams in the semifinals that couldn't advance through to the finals, Azure Royals did best. They're going to earn 5th and 11 points. Fireballs 10, Grayscales staying in that mid-pack range. Grayscales have advanced, I believe, every single time we had one of these 4 groups of 4 events so far this year. However, every single time also they couldn't make it through to the finals. So Grayscale staying in the mid-pack range, 9 points. Mintergreens just barely into the top half for the first time this year, 8th place and 8 points. Of the teams that didn't advance out of round 1, O'Raiders scored the best, finishing in 9th with 7, Crimson Crusaders 6, Mystic Twisters another not terrible performance, but just not good either. They're going to earn 5 points, which, again, isn't really bad, but when they do this consistently, it's going to cost them positions in the overall standings, which it really is. Mystic Twister started off really well, and now they're in the bottom quarter in the overall standings. With Icers doing so well, it might push Mystic Twisters down even further. Strawberry Streamers 4, Black Knights and Yellowfellas tied for 13th place. They both earned 3 points. Gold Globes, once again, continuing the extreme pattern they have. They are yet to finish anywhere other than in the top 4 or the bottom 4. So Gold Globes do not go for the middle ground. They will either go big or go home. They finish in 15th with only a single point, and Team Neon with a very low score of 16, ironically, puts them in 16th place in this event. They score last and no points. Alright, now it's time to turn our attention to the overall standings and find out how things have changed. Alright, here are the overall standings, and Azure Royals are maintaining their top position. 74 points now, they're gold from the downhill sprint. They have been very consistent so far this year, so nothing is changing up at the top. But a lot has changed beneath them. Ultraviolets jumping up to 2nd place again. Several spots they jumped up. Adding a silver medal to their name from this event, they trail the leaders by only 6 points. Team Transparent now in 3rd, Black Knights and Fireballs tied just below the 60-point mark, but Black Knights leading in the medal count. Jack's Jokers, with their bronze in this event, are up into the top half for the first time in 2019. On the other hand, Gold Globes and Team Neon falling a few spots, finishing in the bottom 2 in this event. Team Neon with 53 points, just barely in the top half and 8th, and just barely in the bottom half is O'Raiders, also with 53 points and 2 bronze. The past several events, O'Raiders have been going back and forth between 8th and 9th. They got off to a good start in 3rd and then fell. And O'Raiders are yet to regain their footing. They're going to need to pretty soon if they want to make any sort of a charge towards the top. Crimson Crusaders also falling several spots. After event 4, Crimson Crusaders were in 2nd place. Now after event 6, they're all the way down in 10th, in the bottom half for the first time this year. Grayscale still with no medals, 49 points in 11th. Icers now with 48, jumping up from 15th to 12th, so 3 spots, good for them. Strawberry Streamers happy to not be in last place, however, they are still struggling in the bottom half. Also happy to have some medals to their name this year, a silver and a bronze so far. Our bottom 3 teams still yet to earn any medals, along with Grayscales. Mystic Twisters started off very well in 4th, but now have sunk all the way to 14th. None of their performances have been completely awful, but none of their performances after event number 1 have been good enough for them to maintain their position. They have just been slowly falling the past few events, and it's continuing here. They only have 44 points, as opposed to the leader's 74. Also down there, Yellowfellows with 30 now, and Mintergreen still in last place with a mere 20 points. So consistency is key. Azure Royals is really proving that. Only 1 medal, but they are holding a comfortable lead after event number 6. Alright, that is it. Please subscribe if you want to see the rest of the Algolympics. You do not want to miss out on all the action that's coming, because event number 7, our next event, is one of the fan favorites from last year. It is the Plinko tournament. It is a very action-packed, crazy event that you do not want to miss. So, subscribe to see the rest of the Algolympics. If you have any thoughts about this event, any predictions about your teams, or cheering on your favorite teams, please leave a comment below. Tune in to the next event. Like I said, Plinko, it is going to be very good. And as always, thank you so much for watching.